Good evening, children. Am I audible to you both?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Good evening, Shriyansh. How are you?
I'm fine now. How are you, ma'am?
I'm also good. Thank you. So let us wait for the others also to join. So last time where we have stopped, children?
Ma'am, you are running about components of
Okay, so
which
components of food I need to start. And I think we have discussed about the scavengers and decomposers, right? What is the difference between them? We have discussed. We will be starting with a new chapter, the components of. Okay, okay. Let us wait for maybe 2 to 3 minutes. Let them join. So you have your vacations going on.
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
How many days?
Ma'am, ma'am, mine is opening from Monday, ma'am.
1 week holiday.
Ma'am, I was also shocked, ma'am.
Great. Well, okay for you?
Ma'am, same thing, but on Thursday and Friday I have online class.
Okay, online class will be there. So lucky you all are, right?
Ma'am,
So
but
do you like to have the holidays or you don't like to get the holidays? You don't like it. Why, Shriyansh?
I want to go to school and do.
Okay. All right,
Because
okay.
we are already our syllabus is kind of lengthy, ma'am, so we have completed, ma'am. So I don't want holiday.
Okay, okay. All right. So you have a good holidays actually. 1 week is so much. Okay. So for the online classes tomorrow we will have okay off. Only for tomorrow we will be giving it, but from Wednesday onwards it will be as usual. Regular classes will be there. Good evening, Neha.
Good evening, ma'am.
Neha, for you also vacations going on?
Yes, ma'am.
How many days?
Ma'am, from this Saturday to the next Sunday. Yeah.
See, you all are so lucky. Like, almost a month, almost a week you are getting off. Okay. So you are not going anywhere. I think you have a puja also. I think the Golu puja we call them as, right? See, I know about that because they will be asking. I don't know, but in your school or not, but generally they will be asking the children to bring the Golu. No, okay, maybe they'll be keeping the Golu by themselves. So all the statues of the god they will be keeping, they will be arranging, and then you will be praying, right? That is the festival. Okay, okay, that's good actually. Like, okay, fine. So we'll be starting with a new chapter now today, the revision of the chapter component of food. This is very actually. I will not be saying that it is will be needed in your the grade 8, 9, and 10, but definitely it is important for you to understand for your own body actually. Fine. So nutrients, as we have already discussed, it will be helping us to utilize the food and to use it for the growth, development, and to get the energy. 5 different types of the nutrients are there: carbohydrates, protein, fats, vitamins, mineral. So every day we are taking maybe either one, either two, either five also altogether we are taking. So, but the problem is we don't know like how much we are taking. Are we taking it in the correct way or not? Are we taking in the less way? If it is in the less way, then what problem are we getting it? Right? Sometimes we feel like our back is aching. Sometimes we feel like our teeth are not so strong enough. Sometimes we feel like our eyes are not so healthy. We can't see which is like what is far actually, or we can't see what is very close to us also. So these are things not are not because of you actually. It is because of your health system what is not allowing you to do the certain things, right? So that is the reason that nutrients are very, very useful to have them in appropriate amount. For this, the 5 divisions we have: carbohydrate, protein, fats, vitamins, and the mineral. Now, these nutrients, each nutrients, be it the carbohydrate, be it any other one also, it is very, very important because some are will be acting as the energy. When we eat them, we will be immediately getting the energy. Some will be acting as like to store the energy. So now we are eating, but yeah, after some time we'll be getting the energy from them. Some will be acting for our, bones, teeth, and the eyes to keep them strong and healthy. For that, they will be acting. Some will be acting for, our skin also to glow, actually, to shine. So every kind of the nutrient is very important for us to have in our diet. How many diets do we have in a day? How many diets? How many times we are eating in a day? Actually, diet means eating in a day.
Ma'am, 3 to 4.
3, 2. Actually, 3 are the major diets, which we call them as the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And the other one are the snacks. Actually, we call them as a snack. So the major one are the 3 diets: the breakfast, the lunch, and the dinner. And the other one are the snacks, which can be the morning snacks, afternoon snacks, and the evening snacks. Okay. So these diets are very, very important to have in our body. Now, the nutrients, do you know what are the 2 types of the nutrients present in our body? There are basically 2 types of the nutrients which are present in our body. What are they? Might be you might not be knowing. I'll tell you. 2 types of the nutrients are there. Major, like when we're talking about the carbohydrate, protein, fats, and all, they are also the type of it, but they comes under the 2 different types which are called as the macronutrient and micronutrient. In grade 9, we'll be learning about this. Major 2 types of nutrients are there when we talk about the food. The first one is a macronutrient. The second one is micronutrient. So you might have seen, right, in the earlier time, in the mobile phones and all, we used to have the big SIM actually, right? The SIM card used to be big. But then later on, they have decreased size to it. Micro SIM is coming. Correct? Am I correct, Neha, Shansh?
Yes, ma'am.
So that is what the same thing in our body also. We have the 2, macro and micro. Macro are basically present in the large quantity. Like if I talk about the carbohydrate, if I talk about the protein, the fats, the vitamins, they are what are the macronutrients which are required in the large amount actually. The micro means micro, small actually. They're required in our body in the small quantity. Like we have the zinc, then we have the water also. We have actually the couple of the vitamins also which are required in the less amount. So such kind, then we have the cobalt, we have the nickel. So many different types of the nutrients are there, or the elements are there which are required in the less amount. Such type of the nutrients are called as the micro. So macro and micro, 2 types of the nutrients. Fine. Then starting with the carbohydrate, this is required in a high amount. And what they are called as carbohydrates and fats? Energy giving food they are called as. Now, what are the type of the elements they have in themselves?
Ma'am, carbohydrates is further divided into starch and sugar.
That's true. But what different types of the components, the carbohydrates, they are made up of actually? Do you know what's the formula of carbohydrates? No. Okay. Just let me, okay, first of all, teach you that part before going to the next one. Just a minute. I'll share my screen. Just let me know, children, okay, if my screen is visible or not. Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll start with the carbohydrates, then when we talk about the carbohydrates, they are the chemical substances which have the 3 different types of the elements, like the carbon. They will have the carbon in themselves, they will have the hydrogen in them, and they will also have the oxygen. Now, why we are saying that they have these three a specific element? It is because the formula is C6H12O6. Okay, the formula of the carbohydrate is C6H12O6. The 6 should be written down, actually 12 should be written down, and 6 also should be written down. So now, when you read this C6H12O6, see the carbon you have, hydrogen you have, oxygen you have. Am I correct, children?
Yes, ma'am.
That is why we say that it has the three basic kind of the elements in it, which are the carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. It is due to its formula, which is C6H12O6. And by joining of these kind of the element only, it gives us the carbohydrates. It can be the different types as mentioned by Neha. It can be the starch. It can be the different type of the cellulose are there. So starch, cellulose are the form of the carbohydrate. Fine. These carbohydrates, they are called as the energy giving food, which you all know it very well. But at the same time, they are also called as the energy supplier. Why we are calling them as energy suppliers? Because we supply, when we eat this kind of the carbohydrated food, then what happen automatically? We will be getting the energy, and that energy will be supplying to different parts of our body. So hence it is called as the energy suppliers, or it is also called as the energy giving food. Now here the carbohydrates are made up of the carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, but two major types of the carbohydrates are there, which are the simple carbohydrates, and the second one are the complex carbohydrates. Simple carbohydrates and the complex carbohydrates. Now, do you know about them? What are they?
Ma'am, I think simple is the sugar and complex is starch.
But how can you say that simple is the sugar and the complex one is the starch?
Ma'am, because sugar takes less time to break down and generate energy.
Very good. So that is correct. So when we talk about the simple carbohydrate, basically they are digested. Just a minute. They are digested quickly. What happened? They are digested quickly, and when they are digested quickly, what they can provide us? They can provide us the instant energy, or we can say immediate energy we will be getting out of it. Such type of the carbohydrates which can be digested easily and which can give us the instant or the immediate energy, they are called as simple carbohydrate. Whereas the complex carbohydrates, they take longer time to digest. Now, if I say they take longer time to the digest, which means that what they will be doing, they will be taking more time to break down, and first they will be break down into the simple carbohydrates, and then from the simple carbohydrates they will break down into the simple substances. So it is a time taking process for the complex carbohydrate to work on. So they will be working, they will be taking time, and first when they work, they will be breaking themselves down into simple carbohydrate. And once they are converted into simple carbohydrate, then they can be further converted into the simple substance as like the simple carbohydrate. Am I clear, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt, Shreyansh, Trailokya, Neha?
No, ma'am.
Fine.
Okay. So coming to the example of this part, they are basically like as mentioned by Neha, sugars. Like example, you are eating the fruits. The fruits, they contain the sugar, okay, which is simple to digest, easy to digest. Then the candies you have, or maybe you have the sugary drinks like the mango juice, all those lychee juice you are getting, the canned juice. They all are what they are. They all have the kind of the simple kind of the sugar, the carbohydrates in it. Whereas, whereas when we talk about the complex carbohydrates, they are basically the whole grains like chapati, rice, any kind of the wheat, rice, cereals, and all. When you eat them, then what happens? It takes time, and that is why you are not getting the immediate energy. Instead of getting energy, you feel so lazy when you eat chapati, and you wanted to feel relaxed and all after eating them. It is because they are the complex carbohydrate, And the whole grains, they wanted to convert themselves first of all into simple carbohydrates, right? So then you have the whole grains, then you have the vegetables also, they are the complex kind of the carbohydrates, then the legumes also, like, the pulses and all, they also belong to this category.
And so they directly don't use sugar, but it takes time to break them down.
Correct. So they will be taking the complex one, they will be taking time to break down, and then once they are break down into simple one, then easily they can be digested. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So that is how it is. And also this are basically we call them as a starch. Like for the sugar, the common word is there for the simple one, the sugar. Same way for the complex one, the common word is called as a starch. Okay. Now, this sugar, as already mentioned, it is what? It is the simple type of the carbohydrate. It is simple carbohydrate. Now, second thing, they are soluble in water. You might have seen, right, in the fruits or maybe any kind of the juice. What do they have? They have the high amount of water because easily they are soluble in the water. If you want to mix the sugar also in the water, easily it can get soluble, right?
Fun.
Correct? Same way, the glucose will be coming or the ORS will be there. They all are water, easily soluble in the water because they have the simple type of the carbohydrates in them. Then the milk. Milk also has a sugar called as lactose, which is also easily soluble in water. Then the honey is also soluble in water. So they all are what? They are the sugars which are soluble in water. And easily, that's the reason, easily they can break down in our body. Fine. And that is the reason directly, like, when any kind of the patient is there, or any kind of the sports person is there, what they will be doing? They give that glucose to them because they will be providing with the quick supply of energy. So hence, yeah,
And like not once, twice I ran marathon, ma'am. That time they were giving drinks and fruits, ma'am.
yes. Because that's what the reason why they are giving the fruits or any kind of the juice or any kind of the glucose and all, because that will be giving you immediate energy. They did not take much time actually to break down. As soon as you are taking them, you will be getting the energy because their reaction is very, very fast. Whereas talking about the starch, they are generally tasteless. They are tasteless. They do not have any kind of the odor. That is why they are called as odorless. Then they are also insoluble in water. If you try to, make them the soluble, you cannot do them. You cannot mix them together. Like the rice. If the rice you wanted to mix in the water, can you do that completely? Can they get mixed together completely? No. Then wheat you have, the corn you have, potatoes you have. So anything out of these you cannot, mix them with uh, this component. That is why they are what? They are insoluble in water. Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now the test, talking about the test for the carbohydrates, you might have seen any sample you have to take take any sample. It can be any sample. It can be the potatoes also. So take the potato, cut them into half, and then what kind of solution you have to add over that? The iodine solution. Few drops of iodine solution you have to put over the potato or any sample, whatever you're taking. And immediately when you put the drops of potato over that, what happens? The color will change into the blue black color. So here the color will become blue black color. So this blue black color shows the presence of the carbohydrate in that particular food item. Right, children?
Ma'am.
Okay. So that is what the test for this carbohydrates is. Then we have the next one, which is called as the fats. So fats are also called as the energy giving food because they also provide us the energy. But the problem is when we talk about the carbohydrates and when we talk about the fats, both gives us energy, right? The carbohydrate also gives us energy and the fat also give us energy. But between these two, who will be giving us more energy? Who gives us the more energy out of the carbohydrate and fats?
Fat.
Yes, fats, okay. Fats gives us more energy. Then do you think so this energy is useful for us? Whatever energy the fats are giving to us?
No, mom.
No, right? It is not useful. So what that's the reason is when we talk about the difference between carbohydrate and fats, what happened? Though the fats give us more energy as compared to the carbohydrates. Carbohydrates will be giving us less energy and the fats will be giving more energy. But what happens? This energy, what is being given by the fats, is not the desirable form of energy. Desirable means not so useful form of energy. Whereas, though the carbohydrate give us less energy, but whatever energy they provide us, that is the desirable form of energy. Fine, or we can say it is the useful form of energy. Clear? So if they ask you in the question or any time whenever it comes, between the carbohydrate and fats, who give us more energy? The answer will be the fats. But who gives us the more useful energy? The answer will be the carbohydrates. So carbohydrates provides us the more useful energy. Now this fats basically they are called as the energy banks of our body. So these fats are called as energy banks of our body. Now, the why they are called as energy bank? Because the fats get stored in our body for the future use. So that is why you might have heard, right? They will be saying, fatty person, fat is there in your body, so much of fat is there. So though the fat is there, but there is no use to have this such kind of the fat which cannot be used, right? So we should not have so much of fat in our body. If it is so much of fat, then ultimately we will be looking fatty person actually. So it is
But
yeah.
fat, mom.
What Shreyansh, come again?
And camel can use its fat.
Yeah, camel is the different actually. When we talk about the humans, we cannot actually. We can use it to a certain way, but not beyond that.
Yes,
Because once it is going in our cell, we cannot take it back actually for for utilizing it for the energy or for getting energy and all. That is why the main problem is
yes,
that with the fat, it is useless for us.
yes, and their body is our body.
Correct. Then the fats can we can obtain the fats from both plants also and the animals also. Both we can get the fats from the plants. The examples are like the groundnut oil. We will be the different kind of the oil we can get it. Groundnut, then the sunflower oil we have, the coconut oil we have, the mustard oil we have. So these are what they are obtained from the plants. Talking about the animals, we will be obtaining the butter, the ghee. So from the milk. So these are what the source of the animals for the fat. Then also we have the meat, we have the fish, which also provides the protein and also the fats to us. Now, how much of the fats is required for an adult actually? So an adult requires almost 70 to 80 grams of fats per day. So in a day, we should take only this much of fats, not more than that. Because what happen if we take more than this amount of fat, then ultimately we can lead to a condition which is called as the obesity, where that person will become so fat actually. And this happens due to the accumulation of fat. So when we are taking more amount of fat in our body, the fat will start accumulating. It will start getting stored in our body. And ultimately, that person will be suffering from a disease called as the obesity. And also, if we take more amount of the fat, then what happens? Our brain will not be able to function. So our brain will not be able to function properly. So that is, this brain function is basically when we are taking so much of fat and when we are not taking the fat. So both the conditions are there, when we are not taking and when we are taking high amount of fat. So in both the condition, what will be there? The brain will not be able to function properly. So that is why we should actually take each and every amount of the nutrient, but yes, in a limited amount, not very less, not very high. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Trilokya and Neha, am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Nishika?
Yes,
Nishika, am
ma'am.
I clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, all right. Okay, okay. Now, then you might, as I told you, like, near to our belly, it will be the fat will be there near to our stomach, and also you might have seen sometimes near to the eyes also the fat will be there. Some of the person will have the bulgy eyes and all. The down part of the eyes will start swelling. It is because of the accumulation of the fat near to the eyes. In the kidneys also, near to the kidneys also, what they will be doing, they will be forming that kind of the protection and all, so that what they will be acting as a shock absorber there. So when they are present near to the kidneys, so these are the kidneys. So suppose this is the kidney. Now near to the kidney, the layer of the fat will be there. Now why the fat layer is present near to the kidney? So what happened whenever any kind of shock is there? So by mistakenly we have touched any kind of socket and all. So this layer of the fat, what will be doing? They will be giving the protection to our body. But now again the problem, if too much of fat we are taking, then again overweight will be there and it can create other problems. So that is why a limited amount should be there so that it can protect the body instead of creating the other problem in the body. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then also there are two words, arteries and veins. Have you heard about these words, arteries and veins?
Yes, ma'am.
What are they? Children, actually, you need to give me some 2 to 3 minutes, or maybe 4 minutes also. Just give me some time, okay? Till then, you can just find out about the arteries and veins. Read it. I'll come back. Just 2 minutes, okay? 2 to 3 minutes. Just Okay, children. So, arteries and veins, have you searched about it? What they are?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
What are they?
Ma'am, they are the tube through which our blood flows through, ma'am. And
Correct.
and the arteries are the tubes which send the blood to which take the blood from the heart and send to the body, and veins push the blood back to the heart.
Correct. So I'll tell you in a very easy way what happened when we talk about the arteries and the veins. They are basically the tube-like structure which carries what? They carries the blood. So both of them will be carrying the blood in our body. Now, in our body, we have actually two types of the blood. One is the blood which is rich in oxygen, and that blood we called as the oxygenated blood. Okay. And the other blood is basically rich in carbon dioxide, which we called it as deoxygenated blood. Now you tell me which blood is important for us, the oxygenated one or deoxygenated one?
Ma'am, oxygenated.
Correct, oxygenated blood. Now what happens if we do not have the arteries and veins? If we do not have such kind of the tubes, now what happens? Both the oxygen and CO2 gas can mix together. That is why to carry both of them, we have the separate arteries and we have the separate veins to carry them. Fine. Now, here the arteries will be carrying the oxygenated blood and the veins will be carrying the deoxygenated blood. So, arteries, oxygenated blood, the veins will be carrying the deoxygenated blood. Now, what happened? Now, why I'm telling you this in the topic fat? Because here, what happened when we take more amount of fat, then in the arteries, there will be the deposition of a chemical called as the cholesterol. You might have heard this word, right? Cholesterol. Have you heard this word? Cholesterol. So this cholesterol actually the cholesterol layer will start forming around the arteries. So cholesterol is a kind of because of the consumption of high amount of the fat, because of that, the deposition will be there of the cholesterol in our arteries, and because of it, due to the deposition of it, what happens? The arteries will become narrow. And if arteries will become narrow, will the blood will be able to pass easily?
No, ma'am.
Oh, ma'am.
No. That is why we should not consume high amount of the fat, because the deposition of the cholesterol will be there on the arteries, which will not allow the blood to flow in the arteries, and it will become difficult, and also it can lead to the heart attack. So if this cholesterol layer is formed around the arteries, which makes it narrow, because of that, what can happen? The heart attack chances might be there, and also the heart related disease they will be getting. Now, why only heart related? It is because the arteries are connected to the heart only, because they will be taking the blood from the heart, then to the body, back to the heart. So, this arteries are connected to the heart. That is why the chances of getting the problem related to heart will be very, very much. Clear? So, that is about the fats. So carbohydrate two types, simple and complex. Simple, they will be easily digestible, whereas the complex cannot be digestible. Example of complex like the starch, which are insoluble in the water. The example of the simple one are the sugar, which are soluble in the water. Then fat, they are called as energy bank, because they will be storing the in the body. In our body, they'll get stored for the future use. From both plant and animal sources, we can get them. If we are not taking the fat, then the brain problem can be there. Around the kidney there is the layer of fat will be there, which will be acting as a kind of the shock absorber. Then they will also, the arteries will be there, which will be help the blood to flow. And if the fat amount is high in our body, then they will not allow them to pass through, the blood will not be allowed to pass through, and because of that, the problem related to the heart will be there. So that's about the carbohydrates and the fats. Now for testing the fat, there the simple experiment is there. So any sample you need to take, and then a paper you need to take. So suppose this is the paper. In the center of the paper, you have to keep the sample and then fold this paper into half. So whatever you have taken, crush it, and then after crushing it in the powder form, you have to throw the sample, and then you have to observe that paper under the tube light, maybe, or under the sun also, under the direct sun also, you can watch it. And if you see the patches of the oil are there, then it shows the presence of the fat. And if the patches are not present, then it shows the absence of the oil or the absence of the fats in it. So that is how the simple experiment is there related to the fats.
So
Am I clear, children?
yes, ma'am. Are you presenting screen?
Yeah, I was actually.
I'm not. There's not a.
Mom, even me.
Okay. Let me share it again. Okay. Now is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. So any sample paper you need to take, and you have to keep the sample in between the paper and then fold it into half, and you have to crush it and to make the powder. And after crushing, you can throw the sample, whatever the food item sample you have taken, throw it, and you have to observe that paper under the light. And when you observe under the light, if the oil patches are there, then it shows the presence of the fat, and if oil patches are not there, it shows the absence of fat. Like if you take the chips, so when you crush the chips on the paper, automatically you will be getting the paper, or automatically you will be getting the oil on that, so it shows the presence of the fat. And if you take maybe the rice, when we talk about the rice, in the rice you will not be getting that oil actually. So it shows the absence of the fats in it. So that is why, and always, make sure, children, you have to read the food label. What do you mean by food label? FOODLABEL. What is food label? You know it, but I think that this term you have never heard it, but you know it what it is. I'll tell you what it is, okay? So if you have any packet, if you have the Maggie packet, chips packet, the biscuit packets and all, so at the back of it, there will be a small box which will be, notifying you that this much of carbohydrate is there, protein is there, energy you will be getting, cholesterol is there, calorific value is there. So that box where you will be getting all the numbers or the information related to the nutrients present in that particular food item, that is called as the food label. So it will, yes, actually, yes, correct, Shriyansh. This is the food label, okay? So that is what we call it as a food label. Each and every kind of the packet item, whatever you're getting, will have it. Why? The reason why they're giving it, because they should be actually, present whatever the food item is there, they should present in a genuine way. So if you are allergic to any kind of the thing, whatever they have mentioned, you should not eat it. If it is okay for you to consume the high amount of carbohydrate, you can take it. So that is the reason, however amount of that such nutrient is there, they have mentioned very, very clearly, so that accordingly you can consume it in your body.
Okay.
Fine. So be it any packet, the Maggie packet also has it,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So maybe, whenever you eat now something, maybe any kind of chips you are eating or any other thing you are eating, just watch it first of all, just see how much of nutrients you are taking, which is presented high in number, which is the lowest in number, how much energy you are going to get it. So all these things you should read it, and then you would start eating it. So what happen automatically, you'll get to know, okay, is this really useful to you or it is harmful to you? So that you will get to know by, doing such small activity, which does not require any kind of research and all.
Ma'am,
Yeah, Shriyansh?
palm oil is more harmful than oil?
Who is more harmful?
Palm oil than normal oil.
No. It is not like that. Palm oil is not more harmful than the oil. The normal oil is more harmful than the palm oil.
Okay.
Okay. So today, whatever you actually eat, any kind of the food packet, have a look over the food label and then eat it. And sometimes maybe in a day also you should notice, how much of carbohydrate, how much of the carbohydrate in the packet form basically you are taking it. Because now it is like leave is going on for you, it is holidays going on, so what happened, continuously wanted to eat something or the other thing, right? You will be disturbing your mother, so mother she'll be saying go and eat something, right? So you will be taking maybe the Maggie or maybe the chips and all, or the biscuit you will be taking. So read that food label and then eat it. Okay? Okay then, children. Okay, children then. Thank you.
Bye, ma'am.
And then in the next class, we will be continuing with the protein, vitamins, and minerals. Okay? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
ma'am.
Have a nice
Thank you.
Thank you.